Hello and welcome to the Splash Cast. We are interviewing 4 swimmers from George Washington today. So they are briefly going to introduce themselves. So go ahead.
I'm Amelia. I'm Ashlee.
Can you say your last names too for everybody?
Walko. Ashlee Wilcher. McGlothen. Olivia Ridenour.
And I am James Miller, the owner operator of Swimwv. So
settled back. It's Morgantown and George Washington out front in this 400-yard freestyle relay.
I wouldn't count out Morgantown just quite yet. They got their 2 stud racers coming up at the end, so I would not count them out yet. But look at how close this is. This is all guts. Look at that beautiful in-sync dive that both of them just did.
The third leg is in the pool. It is again Morgantown and George Washington. Wheeling Park in third.
Watch out for Ridenour. She's going to come on strong.
Olivia Ridenour for George Washington.
Oh my goodness. It is almost
Irina Ridenour for Morgantown. They're going at it stroke for stroke.
This is what they pay money. Look at that kick from Morgantown. It's a wonderful kick, and they're still going, and they're still watching each other the whole time. They know they're right neck and neck.
The turn. They head for home.
Oh,
Morgantown.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nudges ahead.
That little fingernail might make the difference of that race. That turn right there might have helped Morgantown win this. Here it goes.
Caroline Riggs, Madeline McGlothen. It's down to these 2.
Here it is. This is what you come for. This is what you dream about when you're 6 years old and you've got 5 a.m. swim club practice. Here it is.
Riggs edging out McGlothen. She's making a move.
Oh my goodness gracious, they have not relented.
Stroke for stroke again at the halfway point of the fourth leg.
George Washington got that turn, but it's still within fingernails.
Madeline McGlothen.
Oh my goodness gracious, what a gutsy swim. Oh, George
Caroline
Washington
Riggs.
with that turn.
McGlothen.
Hold it on. Turns are important, everybody.
Riggs. McGlothen.
Oh my gosh. And
coming down.
State record.
It's McGlothen.
2 records again.
George Washington.
That's right. That is right. All right. Let's see how to. So now that would be the first question. I just want you guys your honest reaction right now after about a year, or not a year, like after a new season. Just give me your honest reaction on when you just saw that.
Yeah. The adrenaline comes back every time. Yes. I think we all watch that video.
And you watch it. At least I watch it all the time.
Yeah, no, we talk about it.
Every time I watch it, I get so anxious and I get butterflies every single time. Like, that was the most anxious I've ever been for a race in my life, I think.
For me, it's like I'm so anxious and it's like all comes back, and like I know we won. Like now I know we won, but then it's like, oh my God, I don't know who's gonna win.
Yeah.
It's like I'm an actual spectator.
Yeah.
It's like it's still nerve-wracking. Because at first I couldn't tell, but then I saw all of the GW moms up there screaming. Ashlee, we did it!
Because from our view, like head on at the lanes, they actually looked like they tied
at the same time.
And I my hand out on the block, and I remember I saw Maddie's hand touch, and I didn't even look like towards Morgantown. I just looked straight up at the board, and I was like, oh my God, we won. And I was standing there and I didn't know what to do, and so I just started jumping up and down, and I knew how much this meant to Mia, and I was like, oh my God, like I gotta find her, and she was running away.
Yeah, I just remember that, and everyone just watched it here, and it really was like, it almost looked like synchronized swimming from where we were sitting. Like it was just arms moved exactly the same time, both of you all. It was pretty an amazing race there. And I don't know, Maddie, I think that last turn, I don't know what you did that last turn, but that was just that because you still were just going arm to arm to arm to arm. But as soon as that And even the first two turns, you guys turned the exact same thing. But then on that very last turn, I don't know what you did, but you just were like, I'm getting there. So yeah, that was you missed the hugging and all that stuff that I was doing with the championship production team. But yeah. So I just wanted you guys to see that. I actually was able to pull that up and figured it would be a good introduction to this interview. So now tell me about, so you just watched that. We just watched that. Tell me, like, is there pressure? Maybe not even just to like win the state championship, maybe not even just to win that relay, but to have that sort of race again. Do you guys feel any pressure with that?
That race again. I definitely think it's gonna come down to that because Morgantown, it's really strong competition. Like that's not gonna be easy to win that event again. But I don't think there's pressure to do do that same race that we did last year. But I think we're all anxious, nervous, excited to do that again.
Yeah, and I really think we all know that it's gonna take another state record to win that event again because obviously Morgantown is so strong and obviously the record will be broken this year and I don't think there's like pressure to like recreate that event just because it was like such a different feeling and I through it like we know what to expect.
Talk about so we're in January. This is the time that's right after Christmas. It's the time that you really you have to go full speed ahead. Tell us what is the George Washington team thinking about? How are we gearing up for states in the next couple coming weeks?
Obviously it's a lot of speed work and at this point it's more technicality work and how you come out of your turn, how you execute your turn, your stroke and a very important thing is stroke rate, especially for the 50 and the 100. So I think it's all just really focused on technicality right now and trying to, beat our stroke down like as low as we can get just to try to nitpick like things that we're doing wrong to improve just maybe like by 100th or 200ths because that's going to win the race.
Mm-hmm. Fingernails, as I kept saying over and over again, that I never want to hear myself ever say fingernails ever again in my life. So you guys are supposed to have a meet on Saturday, correct? So tell me, that was a big meet that ended up having to get canceled. So tell me, are you maybe a little bit worried that maybe you're not going to get quite as many meets coming up? Because for those that don't know, or you guys could say why that meet was canceled, and then you could say like what whether you feel like you're a little scared that maybe you're not going to get quite as many warm-ups.
I think we're worried about not meets because we have 2 meets this weekend. So and last weekend the meet got canceled because of the snowstorm and the plows couldn't even get up to the hill to get to the parking lot of the Y that we were going to be swimming the meet at. So it just wasn't safe. But I don't think it's on anybody's mind that we're not going to have enough meets because you practice your race strategy and stuff in practice, and if you practice it enough, then it's just going to come naturally when you swim in a race.
Yeah, it just becomes habit.
And considering last year where we were all like this out and you never knew when you were going to be able to swim and not, it's a lot better this year because we'll have 2 meets close together and stuff like that. It's not all just spread out and worried all the time.
Now we've spent quite a bit talking about you all as a collective unit. Your coach told me I was supposed to read a bunch of things. I'm going to summarize it. All of you all have lots of individual records, both Region 4 MSACs and state individual records broken. Let's talk about individually first. We're going to talk about individual times. Is there certain time goals? Is there certain events? Or is there a certain like records that you want to break? I mean, you guys have the best problem in the world. You instead of like breaking one, you've broken many as collectively. But is there something that you always wanted to break, or is it like the team title you're trying to go? Tell me about that sort of thing.
For me, it's always just been breaking 4 and even going like 23 high, 23 low.
Mm-hmm.
Want it in relays, but I think a standstill race is a lot different. So that's just a personal goal, but I feel like it would be nice, to recapture some of the like relays and titles that we already have. And and the three-peat, obviously. I think
Obviously, the three-peat. That's why we swim, is to to win championship. So, is there a team or teams that George Washington is like, oh my gosh, we may lose our three-peat? Is there like, which teams are you kind of like scared of, or which teams do you think maybe have like the best chance to end your three-time title?
we always look out for Morgantown. Ever since my freshman year, our freshman year, whenever we first won, it was always Morgantown. A solid group of swimmers, and I think no matter what, and no matter like when we leave, like when we graduate, I think Morgantown will keep that same strong team that they've always had. And I think like they're always just kind of in the back of our mind, just to think about.
Yeah, they are very strong. They've always been very strong on the women's side. Now tell me, one of you has a coach that coaches your team now, and one of you has a coach that coaches your club team now. So let's talk about that, and talk about how awkward that could be, or talk about like how great that is. Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I love having my parent as my coach, or oh my gosh, my parent drives me nuts. Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, my mom's been my club coach for a while now, and before that, my grandpa was my club coach for a while. So I just kind of gotten used to the fact that my family member is my club coach, and I think it's just a habit. Like, it's just what I'm used to now. Tough love, but you know.
Yeah, my dad is the high school coach, and I think that's the best way to describe it. Tough love. I think it's nice to have the unconditional support, because not only do you see it as a coach, but you also see it as a parent, and I think it comes on a lot stronger, both. And you know, maybe if it was for a different sport, or like he could. That I didn't play on, it may be different, but I think that it's definitely something that, like, you know, I wouldn't give up, and I know that it's not something like he kind of just took it and ran with it. We didn't have a coach at the beginning of the season, and he knew that, you know, it might boil down to him having to coach, and I think he took the responsibility, and he's done a really good job, and he's just a really great coach, and I think it's nice to have him.
Yeah, so I've interviewed a few people, and they said they really do enjoy having their parents as coaches. So that really helps. So tell me, let's see, what do we do as a George Washington team? Like, is there some like cool little things that you guys do as a George Washington team that's to prepare for states, or right before states, or even just before meets? Is there like is there a chant, a cheer, some team things? Like what? Tell me like a little bit. I mean, nothing too bad, but what is like a special tradition of the George Washington swim team?
We had anything, but I think now that we're all coming more together as like a group, Miss Captain is in the works. We're coming up with a little cheer. Maybe to go with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, for meets, I like to bring in hats and little fun things for everyone to put on, just to show the difference with the team. I don't know. We all just have fun, music, get hyped together, and we're there for each other when we need to be. We're very supportive this year.
And usually,
we have pasta parties.
Yeah, and usually like the day before meet, obviously this year it's a little bit different with COVID, and so was last year, but usually the day before meet, we have a big pasta party at somebody's house, and it's a nice time to just be together and have that team bonding experience without having to talk about school or swim, and just be normal like teenagers and not have to talk about the meet tomorrow, or like the pressure of what's coming.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because a lot of the time, if you look on like the side of the pools, especially me and Mia, we are listening to music and we're dancing with each other. And I just think that's that's just a bonding experience, and we definitely gotten laughed at for it.
Oh yeah.
And we've even lost a couple AirPods in the water.
Yes, we have.
Oh my gosh. Now tell me, Now tell me, so last year was kind of a bummer because I think I've told many people this. My favorite part of the state swim meet is the music that people pick, or just like, I like to call it just like all the little extra things that they do, parade and all that, and we missed that out. So tell me, if you guys could have picked a song last year because you guys were seated first for your relay, if you could have picked out a song, what song would it have been?
I think that we would have decided as a collective group, like what we want to walk out to in that moment. But because we didn't have that choice last year, I don't think we gave a thought. I think we were all too nervous about that at the moment.
Yeah. We all had our own music, like playing
Yeah.
to ourselves, like
Yeah.
personally. And I think a lot can be said, like the music that you listen to before you swim.
Mhm.
So yeah, we really don't know.
Because we spend all this time talking about, okay, how is George Washington going to win? How are they going to win the states, or your relay? We talked about your relay. We talked about this, but we don't always get to talk about like what is something unique about each of you that is outside the sport of swimming, because you got to do something outside the sport of swimming. So tell me, what's something unique about each of you?
Okay.
I don't know. I always like to have fun with my friends. Always love to I'm just always dancing and being loud, kind of obnoxious in a way. But I also being there for my friends and just having fun. I don't know. There's really nothing else other than that. I'm into rock collecting. I love rocks and astrology too. Astrology is one of my mains.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess I really love animals. We have 7 pets. We spend a lot of time like fostering. We do the kittens, and that's just one of my favorite things. They've always been one of my favorite things. It's been a part of my life since I was young. And it's just an important part of me.
I don't really have any special talents other than the fact that I'm really clumsy and I can get hurt standing up doing nothing. But other than that, I don't know. I like to go hiking with my family in like the spring and the summer. Sometimes in the fall, just like be away from everything, like be in the moment with my family, just make the memories there.
For me, I have 2 things. I'm kind of unhealthily obsessed with going to the gym. It started, I was going multiple times a day. And obviously it's like beneficial towards swimming as well. But it's just something I enjoy. And then another thing would definitely be gaming, like on Xbox. It's definitely not like, it definitely doesn't go with swimming like at all. But it's just fun to like play with my friends. And sometimes I get a little lost on time, but it's okay. I think it's just fun to like spend time with, like, because I have friends that are only on like my console. And I think that's like really cool for me at least.
Oh, yeah, it's good. It's good to like have something outside of swimming, because if you swim hours and hours, you gotta break it up somehow. Now tell me about this. This is something that some people there's always this like, is the club team more important, or is the high school swim team more important? So talk to me, like which one, because it used to be in the state of West Virginia, and I don't think it's like this anymore, but it used to be that that the high school swim meet was just a stepping stone to like the big club championships. I don't think it's like that anymore, but tell me, what are you more excited about? Is it the club championships or the swim team or the state swim meet?
I don't think high school swimming is a stepping stone. I think club swimming and high school swimming are 2 completely different things, because the energy that club states has and the energy that high school states has is so different. Like at high school states, everybody's like around your age and it's really fun. Everybody's really hyped. It's really exciting. But then at club states, you have all the little kids and it's fun to see them swim. It's fun to see them swim. It's fun to hang out with team friends. It's just a different energy. They're both really, really fun for me. And I don't know, I like them both, but I don't think I prioritize one over the other.
Yeah, I agree. We swim for like different teams, and her team's a lot bigger than mine, actually. kids my age on my team. But yeah, like she said, I don't think that like we ever like put together as the same thing. And the only thing that I can remember that kind of has the same feel as high school states is nationals. And that's really the only club meet that I think I can really like relate them both to is nationals and high school states. And they're kind of the same feel because at nationals, like you have the age groups and like, you know, on certain days and certain times, you're only swimming with people your age, but the competition level is just like times 10. Yeah. And I think that's really something that we both enjoy is competing at that like extremely high level. And obviously, what is nationals 5 days long? Yeah. So long meet compared to high school states, but they're kind of like on the same stone, like energy wise.
Now tell me, so you guys have won. George Washington's won a few championships on both the guys and the girls, just a few, or a lot. So tell me, has there been a change in like the school? Are you suddenly like, does your school like super excited? Did they like, oh well, did they forget? Like, tell me, did anything change at your school like when you won state championships or not?
So for my freshman year, they didn't really do any announcements or anything, but I think when Ashlee and their group came up, we all kind of like worked together. It was more of a bigger thing with the school because we all had friends outside of it that, you know, listened and cared in a sense. So we started having, when we won states, they would say it over the intercom and names and everything. And it's more supportive now.
Yeah, I remember my freshman year, which was 2019, I think. We won the state championship, and we went to school the next day, and they didn't even announce that we won over the intercoms, and really no one knew. And I remember we were all like wearing our George Washington swimming gear, and I don't think anyone really asked like how our season was or if we won or how we did.
I honestly don't even know if they knew we had a swim team.
Yeah.
Like if we weren't wearing our stuff, I don't even think they knew at that point that
Yeah.
we even had a swim team that was even competing.
And like, you know, even though we won, it was just so crazy to me because, you know, I can't remember one of our athletic teams that won that year, but like we just got no recognition at all. And the next year, my sophomore year, we won, and obviously COVID, and I was an at-home student at that time. I didn't come to school, and they posted something on our little website about the fact that we won. And I think that's when it kind of took off. People were like, oh my God, there's a swim team, blah, blah, blah. And I think my dad did the math, and we have 14, no, new swimmers.
Oh, we have 24.
We have 24 new swimmers this year.
Oh, wow.
I think that like the school has just done a really great job like being supportive. And I definitely think that like this class and like this era that we're in right now is kind of like once in a lifetime like kind of group, just because of the results that we're able to post and like the support that we're receiving from people that probably didn't know. Yeah. It's just the energy is a lot different than it used to be.
That's good. Like, and that's what I said. Sometimes when you have like, you know, swimmers that come along and you don't always just break records. It's like not an expectation. Like you just don't walk in and break records or have good or always have good, super good swimmers that have been swimming forever. So I guess the last thing that I'm going to ask all of you is, and this is just a nice little fancy little question here, that if you had to pick another sport that you could be dominant or win in, what sport would that be and why? If you were not a swimmer, what sport do you think like you could dominate that is not swimming?
I think if I could pick any sport to be good at, I think I'd play soccer.
Okay.
But I'm sturdy on my feet, and I don't think I have enough like, footwork for that. I'm quite unstable.
Like I mentioned, like I'm really clumsy, and which is why I say I'm a literal fish out of water. Like I've been swimming for 10 years, so I really think I honestly have no idea. I did soccer when I was younger and I didn't like it. And I did dance. So I think if I had to pick another sport, then I would probably do dance. Like my cousins did dance. My cousin's still in dance right now. And so I think it'd be fun to do that with her and like all my friends who I know still dance. But I don't think I could do another thing because I'm just so clumsy on land.
Something that like if I could pick something to be good at that wasn't swimming, I always make fun of my parents for this because they never like taught me how to ski or snowboard. And I've really wanted to snowboard like my whole life. So I'd probably pick like I don't even know what it's called. Like competitive snowboarding. I choose.
I like that. I think it's snowboarding. I think you're right.
I don't really have like I haven't really found interest in any other sport. I kind of just have done swimming to stay active and have fun with my friends. But if there was something I could continue to do, I would have stayed in band.
Oh, okay, fair enough. As a choir teacher, that makes me feel good. So, well, I just want to thank you all, and hopefully, hopefully there'll be a live broadcast of the state swim meet like there was last time, and hopefully I'll be doing that. And I look forward to seeing you all. I am in the Eastern Panhandle, so I'm about 5.5 hours away from you all. So I won't see you all until the state swim meet. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
Um,